You fools! Matt is United. Your favorite Eurovision channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mattitude, the Eurovision live stream where we talk about the Eurovision news of the week and then, of course, answer your questions. And we have made it through the worst slash the best, the final Super Saturday of the 2020 season. We almost have all of the songs, I think five to go. So 36 songs, and we had about 5 songs added to the lineup. And we're going to talk about this a lot today, and that is what we're going to do. And before we get started, just a quick holla into the room. I see a bunch of people already waiting there. Hi, everyone. I see Megan0304 there. I see Patrick Novak is there. Dustin, aka DT, CSK, Choice DK. Hi, everyone. So good to have you with us as we're waiting for more people to join us for this live stream. I think you know how it works by now, but in case you don't, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the results from yesterday's Super Saturday. We're going to do the hard news first. And then I'll share my thoughts and, of course, my opinions on the songs with you. And at the end of each section, then you can share your thoughts and ask questions about that particular national final. And at the very end, we're going to do an open Q&A session where you can just talk about anything Eurovision related. And when you ask questions, just make sure that you always put at ESC United so that I can see your question, that they are aimed at me. If you want to do a super chat, it's not required, but it always helps with expenses at ESC United. They will always be answered first. So this is where we are at. So quick rundown. If you didn't watch the shows, we have had yesterday 4 significant shows. We had Finland's national final, Sweden, Denmark, so 3 Nordic countries, and then Portugal as well. In addition to that, Bulgaria dropped their song yesterday at midnight or something like that as well. And that is where we are at. So, with no further ado, I'll say we'll jump right into it and talk about the thing that we love the most, aka Eurovision. So, the first thing we have on mind is, of course, I think that the semifinal that came to a close first, which happened to be Finland. So let's talk this through. The Finnish national final, Uuden musiikin kilpailu, that is how you pronounce it, took place yesterday. They didn't have any semifinals or anything like that. They just had 6 songs that were internally chosen and by the broadcaster in an open selection, like open submission process. Rather than being invited, you can submit your songs. So those 6 songs battled it out. The juries had a 50% say, and the juries were international juries from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different countries. And then they were added up. That was 50%, and then the other 50% came from the televote. And then combined, that's what we have. So, let's go through that real quick. Obviously, let's start with the obvious situation, the winner. The winner of the national final in Finland, and therefore representing the country at Eurovision in Rotterdam, is Axel Kankanranta. I hope he's only going by his first name in Eurovision so I can pronounce it without always just breaking my tongue. Axel, the name of the song is Looking Back. Look, it's funny that we have Looking Back this year. Last year we had Look Away. It becomes the recurring theme at Eurovision in Finland, apparently. It won the jury vote with 76 points, with a 12-point lead over the second placer, Fem Bananas. Finished in second place with the televoters. With 94 points. Let's take a quick look at the overall score. So as you can see, the combined results between juries and televotes, Axel ended up with 170 points. So having that is a decent lead. The interestingly enough, as you can see, the song that then finished in second place ultimately was Erika Wickman with Cicciolina. Cicciolina finished third with the juries, but won the televote. But based on the point distribution, it was not enough to catch up to Axel, therefore finishing in second place. Not enough to win the whole thing, so therefore she's not going to Eurovision. It is Axel. In third place, you see Tika. Tika with 127 points, a little bit more, a distant third place, you can say. Tika did actually better with the televoters than I anticipated originally, receiving 77 points, third with the televoters, and then I think fourth with the juries, if I'm not mistaken. Enough for that. And then Fem 84, they dropped significantly. They won. They finished second with the juries, surprisingly. Weren't that far away from the winning song, Axel, and then kind of flopped with the televoters, only second to last. Fourth overall. Then Katarina Zulke, 66 points, fifth place. Not too exciting, I guess, for her. And she is kind of, I think, fourth place with the televoter, so it was enough. And Sansa finishing in last place with Lover View, 36 points. Nothing too much to brag about for her. And I think it was a big upset for a lot of people, the Finnish national final, because as you can see on my screen, Erika Wickman, she was, when it's supposed to win, she was the clear favorite amongst the fans. Her views on YouTube were just through the roof. The fans were going crazy about that one. Cicciolina, a song about a porn star, an adult star actress. But even though she won the televote, it was the juries, the international juries, that ultimately stopped her from representing her country. And that's just what it is at this point. So Axel going to Eurovision representing Finland. He's going to perform in the second half of the second semifinal, and hopefully he can make his country proud. And good luck to Finland. And that is the update I have on Finland. So now that we have the official work out of the way, let's talk about my opinions, my thoughts, and then I would love to hear from you as well. If you follow me on Twitter, and if you don't, please do it now, at MattESC United. I often share my thoughts there, and I was obviously, just like most people, Team Cicciolina would have been high up in my ranking, very high up in my ranking. I think it's the kind of Schlager Eurovision anthem that we need, which we don't have that many anymore these days. So I would have loved for that one to go through. I did a reaction video to all 6 songs in the national final a few days ago. Feel free to check that out as well. And I was very honest, and I said, this is a very weak lineup. I was not impressed with all. Erika's song is the only one that clearly stood out by a gazillion miles, and everything else was kind of like, what else? But the crazy part is here, out of the 6 songs in the running, Axel was, in a weak semi, my least favorite. So I didn't see this one like, oh, this is not going to win, obviously, it's irrelevant. Then it wins the jury vote, and then second in the televote. I'm like, what am I missing here? Clearly, some people came to Axel's defense, and that is fine. We all have different tastes, blah, blah, blah. It went completely past me. I was like, it's not even there, if that makes any sense. So I was floored that this one even was considered a candidate. I am asking this with all the respect in my heart. Those in the chat right now who are fans of Axel's song, let me know what it is that you really gravitate towards. Is it the non-existing melody? I don't know what it is. I had a hard time. I've just looked at it. I'm like, wow, this song has like all these famous songwriters. I mean, go to Wikipedia, for instance. All of them, it's the only song where everyone has a Wikipedia entry because they're like famous artists in the United States and part of bands and have written so many songs. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. I have no idea. I am floored. And hear me out. It's not just about me not getting my way with Cicciolina. I still think that would have been by far the best option, right? But even if if Erica wasn't the option, I would have been like, I even like Bananas better. And that is a strong statement. It's just really the one, when it happened to me like in 2016, I want to say in Denmark when Lighthouse X or 10 won. That national final was the weakest I've ever seen. And Lighthouse X was still my least favorite in the weakest national final ever, and then wins. And it just, I'm like, So this is definitely a very difficult thing for me to process. So let's talk this through a little. I would love to hear from you. Nikolai Muller is saying, by the way, I'm so sad we lost Cicciolina. She gave us attitude, stage presence, and it was just pure fun. We need Schlager in Eurovision soon. That is what I'm saying. There is a place for that song, and I just love it. So thank you for saying that. I do agree. And I'm not saying that we have to go back with every single song being a certain style. I like diversity, and we have a good amount of diversity this year. I will say that in the lineup. So that is definitely something that I was a little bit disappointed by. But, it happened before, it'll happen again. So this is not like a, first time. I'm so used to it. I've been doing Eurovision for so long. I don't even remember, I'm jaded, sounds so terrible, but I'm so used to not getting my way on many different occasions. So I can look past that. But in this case, Axel's song, not just only that Erica didn't win, but the fact that Axel's song won. It's just, I just have a very, very difficult time processing it. And not processing it, but finding the appeal there. And do you know me? I often get accused of being too nice in my reaction videos or just in general to what song, trying to please everyone. It's not the case. I have a big appreciation for music, and I believe most songs have redeeming qualities, and I have a wide range of taste when it comes to different genres. So I'm not surprised about that, but even I'm like, I can't with this one. So again, questions or comments in regards to the Finnish national final at ESC United. Adrian Fung is saying this should finish last place. Interesting. I would have to, honestly, I haven't really looked at the lineups in each semi and who he is competing against. I need to watch the national final performance again, and maybe I will finally see the spark that it apparently must have to others, because I just don't get it. I don't know. Olivia MacArthur is saying maybe it was the subject matter that scared the juries, but Axel instead. Olivia, do you think that people knew it was about a porn star? I don't even know if that is really... I didn't know. I wouldn't have known if people didn't tell me and I had to look it up. I didn't know Cicciolina until the song. Like, it's not like, she's a name in the year 2020. So I don't know, it could be, but I knew, though, listening to Cicciolina, it wouldn't probably be a fan favorite. And I said on Twitter, like, the biggest concern is for me the juries. And this is exactly what happened. Granted, I didn't think that they would put Axel high. I thought Tika would be the one that could get the jury support and squeeze past them with I Let My Heart Break. Again, because Axel was not on my radar at all. At all. So Nguyen is saying, I don't like Axel's song either. It may grow on me, but I really dislike how the fan base sent massive amounts of hate to him. It's not his fault. I will say that. You see me here talk about it, and that's what we do. We have a platform here we can share and discuss ideas. Don't contact the artist. The artist just wants to sing their music and be happy and represent their country proudly. And even I don't like the song, I will not vote for it, and that's there is to it. I will not go out of my way to bash someone or a country just because I'm not into the song. And people get very passionate about it. And I will say it sometimes can be very toxic in this community, but it's not just this community. People online, it often brings out the worst in people. I see that here in Eurovision. I see it in politics. I see it in almost any area, right? So it sucks. It sucks. But here it almost feels like worse because we're talking about attacking an artist from a different country, and it seems very icky, very Baki to me. And I said Baki. I'm calling my nephew always when he's something gross. I would say Baki. We say Baki. So yeah, I don't like that either at all. How can the juries put bananas over Cicciolina? Live bananas didn't work for me, so I think the international jury was afraid of Cicciolina would do better than their own country, Sabrina says. I don't know. See, people are often saying in those things that international juries may vote against a good song to increase their country's chances at Eurovision. I'm not there. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't think they'll look that far into it that much. Especially you see all these names. Do you really think like William from Wee Wee Blocks from the UK would vote against a song so that the UK's odds being increased? Polina from Bulgaria would do that. No, I don't think that at all. So, but I don't understand how they could put bananas higher than Cicciolina. That to me, once again, I don't know what the jurors were thinking. My brain does not compute. It doesn't compute. Birgitta Bellman says, Axel had the cleanest performance. TV production messed up a lot of the other performances in Finland. I mean, I remember watching it and it looked fine, but my issue is Axel can sing, obviously, but what he lacks to me is stage presence. I don't feel, he felt intimidated on stage, and maybe that's endearing to some. But I think as a whole, it could backfire at Eurovision because when you only have 3 minutes and you have to compete against, 17 countries in the semis and then potentially 25 countries in the finals, if you don't have that it factor and then just have a song that's kind of like mellow, I'm worried. I'm very worried about that. So that is one thing that stands out. I appreciate all the questions, by the way. Keep in mind, if you ask non-Finland related questions, I will answer them at the very end. So hold on to that. Right now, I'm focusing on Finland. Salming is saying, do you see that Axel could be a top 8 jury song in the semifinal too, based on yesterday's jury success? Or were the opponents just so bad? I think it's mostly because the competition was so bad. It was a weak semi, and it's not like he had like a landslide jury win either. He had a good night with the juries, but I've seen like more impressive ones. I think one even gave him like second to last or something like that. I would have to take a look at who is in the running in semifinal 2. I mean, I'm going for the list right now. I feel it's an interesting lineup. Looking at it right now, I feel as the jury favorites are actually mostly in semifinal 1. All the songs that I would say, oh, they could really could get a good amount of support from the juries that I said semi 1, I think. So is it possible? Yes. I could see it happening, but I could see a complete flop with the televoters as well. Again, there is a disclaimer. It could be that kind of song that I just don't connect with and it goes past me, but people will actually connect with it. And that is okay, because we have that with Estonia. Almost every single person hates Estonia, right? And I'm like, I love it. I get it. I love the melody. It's outdated, but the reason why I love it is because nostalgic. This is the kind of music that my parents listened to when I was like this big, like in the 80s when like the German Schlager music, it has like a similar vibe to it, and so I have this nostalgic feel to it, and that's why I love it. But most people don't like it, and they're completely off the hook, because I completely understand why they wouldn't like it. So maybe this same goes with Finland to a certain extent. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards it. I just don't get it. I still think that Finland could have had this insane memorable online viral moment with Cicciolina, and I think it is a wasted opportunity, in my view. Ugh. I appreciate all these questions, but I cannot keep up. Boring question. Okay, there are people asking. Axel is a great choice. Gel Chip is saying for me, he will go through to the finals. Well, that remains to be seen. I'm not convinced of that yet, but I'm glad that you're liking him, and that is what we're doing here, right? Pio Pipeo. Sorry, Cicciolina would have had a better chance of winning than Looking Back. That I would agree with. Now, we can make the case it wouldn't have done as well with the juries probably, but I think it would have been just a more grand and exciting entry for Finland, and I think it would have been very high up in the televote, probably high enough to just guarantee qualification. I don't think the juries would have had enough power to bring it down. It would have been just, it's one of those camp things that we need at Eurovision. We have a few ones, so maybe I'll survive. And the good thing is, everyone, I know we're all upset, but keep in mind, Cicciolina is not gonna be deleted from YouTube or Spotify, that they're gonna erase it from history. It'll always be there for our listening pleasure, and I will listen to that song for years to come. So I'm okay, I will survive, the song still exists, and that is ultimately what I'm thinking about. In the end, it's just a music contest. The music still exists afterwards. That is basically how I feel about it. Okay, let's do one more. Danielle 137 is saying there's, in my opinion, just something mesmerizing about Looking Back, with good lyrics, Axel's great vocals, and him being shy fitted in the song. See, this is a good explanation why people may gravitate towards it. Again, don't see it. I don't see it, but that's why I wanted to hear. Okay, at least I can hear something about that. And then T-Sep is saying Axel's song will be lost in the semi, just like Look Away did last year. That is kind of funny. I don't know if just happened that the word look is in there has anything to do with it. I mean, who's else? Austria. Oh gosh, there's so many songs here that I would have to go for them. I don't know. It's very hard to say who could be. I mean, it could be because Switzerland is in the second half of second semi. That could be the moment that will make Finland kind of disappear a little bit, that all the attention. And then Bulgaria. Oh, Bulgaria and Switzerland could kind of draw all of the attention away from Finland, I think. Albania has potential to do that as well. So it's going to be tough right now. That's what I'm thinking. But, I'm not claiming to have the answer. And one more question, Alexander Pagels. Do you think international jury should be abolished? I don't think an American juror genuinely cares about how a country like Finland does at Eurovision. I will go more into that actually when we talk about Sweden, which will be next, because they had international juries as well. And I have had some confusion there. I think that they had different criteria in Finland than in Sweden, but let's talk it through in just a moment. So hold on to that thought. So this is where we're at with Finland. Again, I'm accepting the outcome, not that I have a choice, but wishing Finland the best of luck. That's all I can say. And let's move on to the next country, because we have a few more shows to cover. And the next one I'm going to talk about is Sweden. Sweden Melodifestivalen. Probably the most popular national final in the Eurovision universe has come to a close. After 4 semifinals and 1 second chance round, we had the final lineup of 12 songs, and therefore we had a winner. We had, again, a 50% jury vote, a 50% televote / app vote, I think. And the televote, just like it was in Finland, was decided by an international jury. So from different countries called in and provided their points, and then the televote was added up ultimately at the very end as well. So let's go for this real quick here, and obviously let's start with the results. The winner in Sweden, and therefore the country the act representing Sweden at Eurovision 2020 in Rotterdam, are the Mamas. The Mamas have won the contest. They tied for first place with the juries. got 65 points, then barely won the televote by 1 point, with 72 points, therefore an overall 137 points. And that was, man, that was a nail biter to the very end. And let me explain why, in case you haven't paid attention. Here are the full results. As you can see, Move by the Mamas won with 137 points. And then Bulletproof by Daughter, who was looking at the fan polls, the fan favorite, and also the song that people thought in the betting odds would win the contest, finishing right behind Move with 1 point behind. And the crazy part is, it's bad enough that it's by 1 point. They tied with the juries, and then the Mamas won by 1 point in the televote. Just by 1 point, and that one lousy single point was enough to take it all the way to the end. That is crazy. This is the first time this happened. I know in 2014 it was really close between Sanna Nielsen and Ace Wilder, but that was 2 points. But there was a difference at least between juries and televote. Here it is almost identical. It is crazy. So I feel bad for Daughter and the fans because it was so close. I would have felt equally bad for the Mamas if they would have 1 point behind, because it would have sucked just as much. But this is just how it works. There can only be one winner. And there you have it. Now, in third place, just you can go down here, is Kingdom Come by Anna Bergendahl. So she had a great night as well. And after her, she's still haunted by that only non-qualification from 2010 at Eurovision. But this is a very good result for her. And then Brave by Hannah Firm in fourth place, 94 points. Followed by Anis Deon Demina, the most successful second chance song of the night, 82 points in fifth place. And then Talking in My Sleep by Paul Ray in sixth place with 68 points, also a second chance round winner. And at the very bottom, as you can see, Mahambi with 26 points, 12th place. And then Vamos Amigos, Mendes featuring Alvaro Estrella with 40 points. So a very interesting outcome. Let me just say on this, actually, as pointed out, the Mamas will now go to Eurovision, and I wish them the best of luck, and hopefully they're going to make Sweden proud. It is Sweden. They have a pretty good track record at Eurovision, especially as of late, and that is, I expect it to continue. Now, let's talk this through a little. So, the results. Again, I keep talking about Twitter a lot because, I do share a lot of information on there. But I did share who I was rooting for, and it was really close because I was about to send my tweet and said, in Sweden, I'm rooting for the Mamas. And then I removed it and put Anna Bergendahl because I was going back and forth between these two for me. Because I don't know what it was about Anna Bergendahl's song. It just kept growing and growing for me. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. So I decided, you know what? Let's get Anna back to Eurovision. And so that's why I put her on there. But I'm equally thrilled to have the Mamas on there. A lot of you just as excited as I am about the Mamas, and because we finally have a female act, female singers at Eurovision. Since the last time we had a woman represent Sweden was in 2014. For years it was like, who was it? Marcel Malo, the guy that I forgot his name, Franz from 2016, whatever his name was, Robin Bengtsson, Benjamin Ingrosso, John Lundvik. And I'm not bashing on the singers or the songs. I'm just talking about this was a recurring theme at Eurovision. So having female vocals at Eurovision for Sweden is fantastic. And it's also the first time since 2007, so 13 years, that a band, a group actually made it to Eurovision in Sweden. So I think this was a great moment for Sweden. And the funny part is the Mamas was the first song of the first semifinal. We could have stopped then. We went for all of this shenanigans of like weeks and weeks of shows when we just could have listened to the first song and be done with it. But now we had to go for all of that. So that was very interesting. So I am thrilled that the Mamas have won. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to win, but not because I didn't want them to, because I was just like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So this was an amazing moment, and it was fun to watch because the first of all, it was such a close result, but her name is Ashley. She is the only American on there on the group. She doesn't speak Swedish, right? So and then boom, the results were announced, and the two Swedish ladies jumped up, and she's like, what's going on? Someone translate. I hear our song playing in the back. I think that's a good sign, right? Someone tell me. So it was really, really funny to me. She didn't get it right away. So I giggled. And then, as they were walking on stage, the big group hug with John Lundvik, you can, whatever you may think about John's song or songwriting skills, that was a genuine, touching moment. And you cannot be mad at that, right? So I think that was such a beautiful moment to me. So I am very, very happy about that. Now, as far as daughter is concerned, I feel so bad for her and for the fans because it was so close. And I saw on Twitter as well, and I think some people also mentioned it in the chat, that actually, based on pure votes, daughter received more votes in the televote than the Mamas, but in Sweden they have this system where they kind of equal it out based on age groups, because the younger generation just votes like so much more than people that are older, right? Because they may just pick up the phone or they just don't do it. It's a different generation and they're at a disadvantage. So therefore they came up with a system where not always just the teenage Bob guy can just run away with it every single year. So they came up with this system. And that system this time around helped the Mamas apparently win this thing. So, of course, that creates a lot more drama and upset. But let's look even past that. Daughter's song, to me, was good. I liked it, and it wasn't like as high up in my ranking as some of the other songs. I think I had Daughter personally like in 4th or 5th place, but if she would have won, it would have definitely be in my bucket, because I liked it. It just was a little, the song felt like it was almost like a Sia song, but the oomph was missing. I wanted a little bit more oomph in that song, more beat, more louder. But it was still an enjoyable song. But yes, when it came down to Daughter and the Mamas, I was Team Mama for sure. But this would have not been an upset win for me if Daughter would have gone through. Some other songs that I actually really liked were, and I feel bad for her because she got so much hate online, was Hannah Firm's Brave. It's a silly song, na, but for some reason this song just got me. The catchiness of its song, I couldn't deny it, and she did really well in the televote. Wasn't she 3rd? And I just liked it. Now, I didn't like the staging per se because it was more like a photo shoot for like magazine, like I don't know, one of these beauty magazines. I can't even think of the names. Something like that. So there were so many flaws, but the song I just kind of enjoyed. Break now, da 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 da. So it was one of those songs I'm not supposed to like it, but I did. I couldn't get past it. And then to me, the dark horse, I was secretly hoping. Well, not let you say hoping, but I was secretly thinking if this were to win, I would be over the moon. It would be Aniston Deminas, Vem o Somos. I was like, this song is trash. And then I listened to it again. I'm like, this song is amazing. Shoot. I just like, oh my God. This song was the most energetic, fun, upbeat song of the year in Melodifestivalen. It would have been a great addition. Plus, we would have had a Swedish song. I figured it wasn't going to win, but I was like, oh, maybe there will be a surprise. And then it got initially a 12-pointer from the juice. I'm like, oh my God, is it going to happen? But then ultimately he finished in 5th place. So that was disappointing. And then let's take a look at some of the less fortunate one. Let's go for them real quick. I'm not going to spend like a lot of time on each song. Victor Krone's Troubled Waters wasn't for me. I didn't get into that song. I like Victor Krone as a person. He's, cool dude, but the song wasn't for me. Paul Ray's Talking in My Sleep was a nice song. I liked the song. I didn't like the staging. It's a ballad, and he did that weird jumping around. I'm like, it doesn't work for me. It seemed out of place, and it took away from the magic. The Mamas obviously won. Mohambi's winners, I was a big fan of Hello last year, even though it was very repetitive. I thought it was current and cool. This year winners, I couldn't get into it. And it's funny. I'm going to talk about that later, actually, when Marietta's turn. But he finished last in with the televoters, and his face was like, it was funny. And then he finished last overall. It wasn't a good song. It wasn't a horrible song, but the others were just stronger, so I get it. Already mentioned Brave, Bahana Firm, so we move on. Mendez featuring Alvaro Estrella, Vamos Amigos is my least favorite of the year. I find it almost offensively bad. This Vamos Amigos, stereotypical like Spanish words, trying to come with a very Schlager Spanish sound that's just so bad and cheap. It's the kind of performance I would expect at a weird family reunion thing or something. I couldn't stand this one. Sorry. Daughter said, I like that one. Robin Bengtsson, Take a Chance on Me. It wasn't a winner, but I like the song. If you take a chance on me. But it was a little, not a winning song. And I wish someone would tell whoever dresses him, like, don't, you look dirty to me, like with this thing hanging out and the greasy hair. It's just like, you look like you just woke up. Maybe some people find that appealing. I didn't. Mariette shouted out, fun lady. She finished second to last with the televote, which is, a big disappointment for Mariette because she is the queen of Melodifestivalen as of late. So this was definitely her worst result yet, was shouted out. Interesting enough, Mariette and Mohambi both came from semifinal 3 and they were the bottom 2 of the televote. That just shows how weak the third semifinal was. If they would have performed in any other semi, best case scenario would have been a second chance for them. But since they were in the weakest one, they went right through. Their name recognition certainly helped them probably as well. But yeah, you need to have the song to do well. Felix Sandman, again, if you follow me on Twitter, I was picking on that song a lot, and I still do. Don't like this one at all. I'm glad that the televoters saw through this one. I don't understand how the juries gave it this many points, but I'm going to talk about that in a second as well. So that was really far down on my list. And I already talked Anna Bergendahl and Anis Don Demina. I like them. So that's what you have it. And so go back to my point about Felix Sandman. I was always under the impression that the international juries are supposed to judge a song based on musicality, vocal performance, all these different things that, criteria that they get at Eurovision that would apply there as well. But no, apparently Krista Bjorkman just tells them, watch this and tell me which song of these would do best at Eurovision. What kind of subjective bullcrap is that? Then why have juries if they're not voting for the best song, but what they think would do best at Eurovision? I hate that idea. I hate that idea so much. Is that the reason why Felix Sandman was so high up in the jury vote? Because he didn't even sing. Like, how can you judge a vocal performance if he just talks? Boys with emotions. Boys with emotions. Boys with emotions. Boys with emotions. Okay, you got my point. It is just really, really mind-boggling to me. If that is the sole purpose of the international juries, then don't bother. Don't bother having them. Then just do the televote, do the work. This is dumb. I know, I'm really pissed off by that. And I don't know, because in Finland, they also have a international jury this year. If they followed the same kind of criteria, rather than voting for the song that they perceive to be the best, but for the one that they think would do best at the contest, how can you know? How can you know? The song that usually does best with people and has a more broad appeal tends to do better. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. Okay, so I vented enough, but I just wanted to let that out real quick here. So this is what it is with the outcome in Melodifestivalen. And just to get back to the Mamas move, I think this will be a great addition. It is a very uplifting song. They have great vocals. I'm glad now that at Eurovision they don't have backtrack singing and all of that stuff. So it's going to be even better, I think, the sound. And each individual lady, they all have stage presence and charisma, and you just drawn, like you want to look at her, then at her, and then at her, and I was like, they're all just so like, look at me. These 3 minutes belong to us. We're here, shut up and learn. And it was just an amazing experience. So this is great for me. I think that Sweden has a great start into the 20s. If you watch me for years now, you know that Sweden has had a hard time getting into my like bucket. I like over the past Sweden has done so well in the 2010s, right, at Eurovision. The most successful country, yet I only like 3 of their songs. And that is just comes down to the music that they choose usually does not jive with me. The 3 songs that I liked. So now that they're starting the 20s with something, yeah, I feel as this could maybe be a trend. So I'm hoping for that. Now, by the way, give me the your thoughts, questions about Sweden at ESC United in the chat so that I can answer them. And I'll go over there right now. But yeah, the first question, Alexander Pajels. My question from before, do you think international jury should be abolished? I don't think an American juror genuinely cares about how a country like Finland does at Eurovision. That's the thing. I don't think it should ever be about how well a country should do. Just like at Eurovision, when the juries judge, they're supposed to use all these criteria to judge a song, right? And those same criteria should be applied in national finals because you cannot predict, you cannot assume this song will do well at Eurovision like these few individuals. That is just, it's just dumb to me, because then you don't send the best music, and then this kills the purpose of having them, in my view. So I don't necessarily say that an American cannot judge it because he doesn't live in Europe, but he shouldn't judge it based on success at the contest. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I like the Mama song. Did you like Storm last year? Storm to me was a fine song. I liked Storm better than Troubled Waters. Storm to me was the song that I enjoyed when it was on, but I never played it like when it on my phone or anything like that. So it was in my fine category. I liked it well enough. Is Sweden in danger of non-qualification? No, I don't think so. I think this will go big. I mean, even just looking at what I did yesterday, I tried to put together, I didn't have time to finish it, but, looking at all the YouTube videos, first of all, of fans putting out their top 36, Sweden was like in 7th place overall if you combine them all. So that is just showing that Sweden usually doesn't do that well with the televoters or like the fans. This year they seem to be pretty high up. I think that's a good sign. I think Sweden will fly through. So no, I think they are safe. So I think you can relax about that. Why did Sweden release the jury score before the televote was over, Laken is saying. They do that every year. They want to give the people, I guess, another last chance to maybe vote strategically, which I find dumb as well. And I'm glad you pointed it out, but it has been like that for years. And it's not the only country that is doing it. I think they do the same in Estonia and some other countries. I find it stupid. They know exactly why they're doing it, though. So that's why but yeah, I find it dumb as well. HCB is saying, like you, I wanted the Mamas to win, but I didn't think it would happen. I had the biggest smile on my face when they won. Isn't that a nice moment? And then, our smile, of course, is like the sadness on other people's face because Daughter didn't win. But anytime a song that you're really excited about wins, it's just like, ah. So I get it. It's just a wonderful feeling, and I wish I had it more because I tend to don't get in my way. But hey, that is just how it goes. Once we can get the exact same result as last year, it's the same song with 3 of the same singers. It's not the same song. Come on. That is not. Where is it the same song? What is the same? It's the same kind of genre. If a country sets a pop song 2 years in a row, is it the same song? There's hardly anything alike. Lyrically, melodically, it's not. So I'm always like, we need to be a little bit more open-minded when it comes to music. When someone sends 2 rock songs in a year, it's the same song. No, it's just the same genre. That's exactly just what it is. Where are the songs from? Oh, we talk about that in a bit. The last time we sent a girl group came top 10 with Aphrodite. Do you remember Never Let It Go, Never Stop? Yes, I very much remember that one. As a matter of fact, that was the first time I watched Eurovision in the United States. I moved to the US in 2001. So this was only the second year I think they live streamed the contest online. So I lucked out. So I got to watch it. I remember it being a very connection for me. But I was able to watch it. So yes, I have very fond memories of that one. Renee Limon is saying, "Hey Matt, I live in Sweden. What's up?" And it seems as long as Krista Björkman rules the show in Sweden, nothing is going to change attitude of juries or anything else. That's unfortunate, but two things about that. Number one, he's only going to be the supervisor for what, one more year after this? So it's bound to change unless this next person will do the same stuff. And number two, you can make a case that it's been going really well for them, right? The question is, has it always been that way, that juries are not supposed to vote for the best song, but for the song they think could do best at Eurovision? Or is that new? That is what I'm curious about. Again, people will use it, well, we've been doing well, but yeah, but you sent shitty music, in my view. Not this year or last year, I love them. But, you know, that's just my opinion, of course. Okay. There was a rumor that the Austrian jury did the voting in reverse. Is it true? Kyle Koala saying. I heard the same thing on Twitter last night, and I looked it up a little, and I think there's nothing official, first of all, from at least someone hasn't updated information on that, but it's really just rumors, and I think that this came from daughter fans, like desperate daughter fans, because Austria only gave Bulletproof 2 points. It was daughter's lowest score, and ultimately certainly contributed to her loss. So I think they were hoping, maybe saying like it would be flipped around, but that wouldn't make any sense, because that would mean some of the other songs would have gotten, like Talking My Sleeve would have been like first, Brave would have been second, Vamos Amigos would have been third. I don't think so. So I think this is pretty much made up by people who were upset that Daughter did not win. So, yeah, I would not get into that one. Did you like Daughter staging, Emmanuel is asking. I did like the staging. Actually, that was probably my favorite part about it. I feel bad for Daughter because apparently, you have all these lights coming at you and she couldn't see. Like, she has these moments where she's supposed to move her hand and touch the light beam and bring it up, and she couldn't see shite. Like, she was like, and so she had to kind of just use by memory where it's supposed to be and all of that stuff. So I think the Malfest account tweeted about it. So that was very interesting. But I liked it. The staging was really cool. I'm not going to lie. So that's what we have with Sweden. We got to move on. I've been talking too much. Let's move on to the next show, which is Denmark. Denmark Dance Melody Grand Prix is over. And they also had a show, and it was very interesting this time around in Denmark. In case you watched, there was no audience there. They still had this whole thing in the big arena, but all seats were empty. And the reason for that is coronavirus. They didn't want to spread this, right? They were like worried that this could then infect more people, and it's a health hazard, so they didn't bother. It's interesting because in Sweden and Finland, we're like, we'll be fine. Don't worry about that. But Denmark definitely decided, let's not take a chance. So how it worked, there were 10 songs in Dansk Melodi Grand Prix final. And out of those 10, 3 would move on to the super final. And those were Ben and Tan, Emil and Sander Sanchez. So then there would again be a vote, and the televote would then decide on the winner. And we have one. So the act representing Denmark at the 2020 contest is, you see it right here, Ben and Tan with the song Yes. It won the fan polls, in most fan polls, I should say. And so this is definitely probably a relief to a lot of fans that this one went through. It won the televote with 61% of the votes, and therefore is going to hopefully make Denmark very proud come May, which is not that far away. It's crazy to think about it. So yes, this is the act that is going through. I think there were a lot of people very excited about that. Of course, I would like to hear from you. As far as my opinion is concerned, I'm very happy. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. This was absolutely by far my favorite. I just love that song. This Say Yes, Say Yes. It really is energy boost when that comes on, and it's a great song. It's my kind of music, and I think they will do really well. I think they will do even better at Eurovision than in Dance Melody Grand Prix. And I'm going to talk about this right now. It was a bad production. I mean, certainly it felt really weird not having an audience, but the hosts were wooden, the sound wasn't good, the orchestra was not well executed this time around, right? Or was it just me? And the sound wasn't good. It wasn't quite as rich as it's supposed to be, and it was not enjoyable. The song was enjoyable, but the whole overall experience just wasn't that fun to me, I gotta say. But the end result is what matters in the end, so I'm happy. I'm happy with Ben and 10, yes, winning. And if you watch my initial reaction video on our YouTube channel to the 10 songs, I think, you can correct me wrong, but I haven't anyone else mention it, Emil was my number 2. I love that song. And the fact that this went through to the superfinals was the most exciting moment for me. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not alone. So I was like, the odds of a song that I love going through and going to win has just doubled. So I was thrilled. A lot of people were shocked that Human didn't go through with Jasmine featuring Rocks or Loops. But I was thrilled with Emil. I love that song. So, hey, this was, for me, super exciting. But once I saw the lineup, and I guess it's probably going to be yes, right? I mean, there's no other way that anything else could happen. And it was a landslide win for them, and rightfully so. So, I am very happy about that. I don't have much to say about the Danish show. As I said, it was disappointing. The whole thing looked and sounded and worked. It was enjoyable. The outcome is great. I'm happy with my top 2 that they both made it to the super final. I'm sad. I know there were a lot of fans of the song Human. That didn't do well because, it was eliminated before the super finals. It finished in 8th place overall, I'm just seeing right now. Holy camoly. I thought maybe it was like 4th place, but Human only finished in 8th place. What was in 4th place? Who just missed out? Maya and De Sarte with den Eneste Got I Valiant finished in 4th place. Wow. Those are some surprising results. I didn't even realize it until looking at it right now. So, hey, you can't win it all, right? So, what are your thoughts about Denmark? Are you happy with the win? Are you sad? Were you rooting for someone else? Just your overall impression at ESC United in the chat. I would love to hear from you. Dustin, aka DTSCK, is saying yes, is my favorite this year too. 3rd year in a row. I love Denmark, but they look cold performing on stage. Well, that was one of the things. It did look cold. I will also say one thing. I'm glad you bring that up. They need to sing the song to each other, not away from each other, because she was like far away at the stage in the front, and then even when she walked behind, she was standing behind him. They should sing to each other. Say yes, because it's a warm song. It's an uplifting, spirited song. You need to make sure that you don't have that cold feel to it. So I hope they're going to fix the staging. They need to fix that, because it felt really awkward, and that as well. That is true. I completely agree with that, and I meant to mention that. So thank you for bringing that up. Shannon is saying, from the sound of it, it seems like the Danish national final suffered from a lack of a live studio audience. It certainly, I was saying that from the beginning. Being in the big arena, the sound just didn't feel right. Certainly, but that's only one issue with it, of course. But yeah, it certainly didn't help with the sound. I absolutely agree. Do you think the same will happen to the ESC public as in Denmark? You never know, but I can see it absolutely happening. I think that this song is I have to look past my own personal bias here, because I like this song very much. But I just think that the song just really has a warmth to it that is infectious. And I do think that this could translate well on the Eurovision stage. With the caveat, fix the staging, fix the sound and all of those things, but it has so much potential. So I wouldn't count it out. I absolutely would not count it out. Human staging should have had Middle Eastern vibes. Yes, the staging was very disappointing. I think that kind of contributed to its flop, its downfall, I should say. So, yep, I agree with that. Adrian Funk is saying, I feel like this song needs some onstage backing singers to lift the atmosphere up. I can see it as well, Adrian. Like, yes, because, there's a strong backup vocal sound there, and let's have them all there. It's like, I can almost feel like, you remember Malta 2013, Tomorrow, where they all sit on a bench and then play together? Not exact same look, but something to that effect, because it is that kind of, group mentality song that just is like, yay. And I hope maybe something like that they could come up with. That would be my hope, at least. But that is just my opinion. T-Step has some criticism, apparently. His voice is kind of bland and not that interesting. Their performance was not that good. They had no chemistry overall, though I really like the song. I mean, those are fair criticisms there. I mean, I don't think his voice is bland per se, but the performance and the chemistry wasn't there at that moment. But they may have chemistry, but I think they didn't really display it because they kept, like, it almost feels as they don't like each other because they always were in different places. But if they can fix that, I think the chemistry could potentially come back. I hope the ESC will postpone the show if they can't do it in May because of I don't think we're going to talk about that afterwards. So I'm going to skip that for now, but remind me later. Why do they have live orchestra in Denmark? To be honest, I'm surprised they had it this time around. Especially I love orchestra, but if you don't have it Eurovision, it's kind of silly to have it now in the national final. And it wasn't it just sounded bad. The sound was so bad this time around. So that all contributed to the very poor feel of the show to me. So that was the problem. So that is what we have in Denmark. Already way past my allotted time here. So let's move on to the next show, which is Portugal. Let me bring that up. So Portugal was very interesting because all the Nordic shows, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark, they wrapped up their show by, I want to say 10 o'clock Central European time. And that's when Portugal's show started. I'm like, I cannot even do a live stream because of Portugal. And the show was a lot longer, so it dragged it out a little, I guess. But ultimately, how it worked, Festival de Canção, they previously had 2 semifinals, 8 songs in each semifinal, and then 4 would move on to the finals from each semifinal. So we also had an 8-song semifinal. And it was, to say the least, a very interesting outcome as far as like the juries and the televotes are concerned. They were on completely different pages. So ultimately, as a song that neither won the televote nor the juries actually won the whole thing. And this is Elisa Medo de Sentir, as you can see here. And here she is. She won that with getting 10 points, second place with the juries, 10 points with the televote, second place, I said. Overall, 20 points. That was enough to take the whole thing. And now she gets to go to Eurovision. Here are the full results, as you can see. The second place went to Barbara Tinoco, Passe Partout. Second place, winning the televote, but the juries did not feel that one. Then, interestingly enough, the biggest moment was Philippe Sambado, first song of the night, getting first place, 12 points with the juries, and then second to last, only 4 points with the televoters. They couldn't have disagreed more. There were other big discrepancies. Thomas Lucia, 3 with juries, 8 with televotes. So there was a lot of what is going on here with the scores. It's like almost like upside down. It was very different and very interesting to watch the results. But ultimately, it was Elisa, and therefore, she is going to Eurovision. Congratulations to her. You always want to hear my own personal opinion. So, if you are a fan of the Portuguese entry, I would kindly ask you to either mute the live stream or temporarily leave it, because my official opinion is coming in a moment. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hate it. I'm seriously, I'm being, of course, dramatic here right now. I have to say, Portugal is my least favorite song this year. And it pains me to see. I mean, there's still 5 songs to go. Maybe someone else, but I thought it was painful to listen to me. vocally, I mean, it was bad. And I just don't like the song. It seems like these songs from like the old Portuguese days that didn't work then, and it certainly will not work in 2020. And it will appeal to some Eurovision fans because they love that kind of music. But if you think that this is going to work with the average person at Eurovision, no. And I don't want to make early predictions, but on this one, I feel very confident. And it was really funny because, if again, I'm all talking about Twitter today. I was on Twitter and I tweeted like, oh, Finland is my least favorite song of the year. And then 2 hours later, Portugal. I'm like, all right, I stand corrected. So it was crazy. And it is funny because if you pay to my attention, people always like, man, you like every song. Like, I just like the songs that have been released so far. There weren't any dislikes. And it was very funny because usually in my head, I do like these categories like what's a 5 for me? What's a 4.5? What's a 4? I think the lowest, I didn't have anyone in my one bucket. And then now I have 2 songs in my one bucket in one night. And I feel bad because I one of my favorite Eurovisions was in Lisbon. I just was very sad because, and again, it's not just about not my favorite winning. Barbara was my favorite as well. Would have been a great song. I can go past that. I mean, you know, one of my Rebellion was eliminated early, so it was all like, okay, it's not coming together for me in Portugal, which is fine. Happens all the time. I'm not even a big fan of like the Norwegian song, which is very popular with the Eurovision fans, but I can see the quality and I can understand why people like it. And I wish them the best of luck. It's not bad, even though I had like 4 other songs that I liked way better. I can look past my own personal taste, but here it is really not for me. But that is just me, and it is just crazy. How can the juries... I don't understand how the juries could put Philippe Sambado this high up. I'm like, what are we missing? I am very confused about that. But keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion on Portugal. Some people may like it, but even just look at it realistically, not at my personal taste. Do you really think that this kind of song has any chance at an international event like Eurovision to grab people's votes from Sweden, Poland, Estonia, Belarus? Let's be real here. No. No, absolutely not. So yeah, I am definitely not Team Portugal this year, at least from the song, but I will always be Team Portugal because I love that place. And it was one of my, oh gosh, going to Sintra in Lisbon was one of my biggest amazing experience of my lifetime. It was so amazing. So, and I liked your songs in previous years, just this year I just can't. But hey, that's how it goes, right? So, it was another upset for a lot of people I can see as well. I liked Barbara's song. Yes, it was very French, but it was just so musicality wise, so many cool intricacies and just out of the box. And it would have been a really cool, sweet moment on the Eurovision stage. I'm not even claiming it would have done a whole lot at Eurovision. I know it would have done more than Elisa's song, but I'm not even saying it would have been enough to qualify. I don't know. But I would have enjoyed it tremendously. So, but hey, that's how it goes. Okay, let's take a look at some of your questions at ESC United. I'll try to answer them. What is your favorite past entries from Portugal? I mean, it'll always be Salvador. I mean, it's an obvious answer, but again, if you followed me for years, you know that I was immediately Team Salvador. Like the moment I heard the song, I was on there. Done. And I never wavered. I was always with that song. I was always like, this has to win. And it did. And it was wonderful that for 3 years, I had one of my favorites win the contest. It's amazing anyway. I don't know if it's going to continue in 2020. But that's how I felt at that moment. And it was great. But and the other songs, I mean, I can't say that Portugal was my favorite country in the 2010s. I'm trying to think. I did like 2010. I did like Portugal in... I don't remember. I liked it last year as well. How could I forget? It didn't quite feel right on the Eurovision stage. It's more suited for a smaller stage, but I liked it. I forgot about that. Skipping that one. Okay, let's a few more questions. Tyrone, Matt, come one who said that Salvador Sobal would well, and he freaking won. Look, I'm not saying that it's going to win, but qualification is possible. Any song can qualify. Qualification is always possible. I will never say never. I just feel very confident in my prediction on this one that it's not going to win and not going to qualify. What is next? You've changed your tune rather a lot since your review of semifinal 1, and you quite liked Made of Cynthia. Then what has changed? Matt, it's very funny that you say that, because I had to rewatch it as well, and I listened to the studio version. I'm like, okay, I get the studio version. I did not recognize it live. It was terrible. I was like, that was a song that I thought was nice, but it wasn't even that nice. It was my third place in a very weak lineup. So I liked it better there. Absolutely, the studio version is way better, but live, it's a disaster. That's basically what it is to me, to sum it up. And there are lots of questions non-related to Portugal, and I'll answer those in just the questions. Hold on. You make me scroll all that much. What do you think about Blasted early elimination? I was pissed. It was my number 1, and I'm still pouting. That's basically what it is. So yeah, I'm very upset about that. Did you like Apensionado, my favorite in Portugal? Considering I only like 2 songs, my answer is no. Jimmy Peace. I don't remember that song. I was the second of the night. Oh gosh, what was it? It's not coming to me, but I know it was just a very weak semi for me this year around for Portugal. So my answer is no. So yeah, that's how I feel. Forgive me, there are so many questions that are non-Portugal related. I'm just scrolling past right now, and then I'll answer them at the end. Okay, no more Portugal questions. So, there's one. T-Sep. Elisa needs to work on her voice. The semi-performance is better. Barbara was robbed by the juries, and I actually liked Gabera. Greetings from Sintra. Oh, you're from Sintra. I hate you because I want to live there. That was the most beautiful place in the world for me. I don't hate you. I'm just jealous. Yeah, I mean, maybe she can win me over at Eurovision, but as of right now, this was a disaster to me, and I feel bad. But people always it's always that fine line that you're trying to walk, because people accuse me of being always just nice to appease to people, and then when I say honestly how I feel, I'm trying to be respectful, then people get upset at me as well for not liking their country. I'm like, it has nothing to do with their country or anything. Just the song is just not for me. And I'm the one that picks on my home country, Germany, a lot for right reasons. This year, I guess we're doing okay. But in previous years, we're more often than not suck at this thing. Yes, this is what we have with Portugal. And we had 4 semifinals. Grand finals, and we're almost done. We have, I think, 5 more songs to be released. I think 1 more is dropping today. I haven't listened to it yet. But there's another song that was released yesterday, like at midnight, and that was Bulgaria. Bulgaria's Victoria, that we all were anxiously waiting because, as we all know, Bulgaria decided to sit out for a year due to financial reasons, which was very upsetting. But it was exciting to have them back. Tears Getting Sober is the name of the song. And it was released, and if you don't know how I feel about it, please watch my reaction video. So if you want to do that first, I'll give you 5 seconds before I share my thoughts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I love it. I haven't done a proper ranking yet, but it has the potential to be my number 1. I'm pretty sure it'll stay in my top 5. It's just the song speaks to me, the melody, the emotion, the voice, the style, everything. I will say Bulgaria is a fantastic Eurovision country, especially as of late, and I will make a very strong statement right here, right now. Victoria is my favorite Bulgarian entry ever. I know, I can't believe I'm saying it, considering we had They Will Never Bring Us Down. Ooh, I'm gonna lose. We had Water in 2007, which I loved to death, but I just love that song. There are so many ballads this year, and this one genuinely, deeply speaks to me. I think it is so good. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And it is fantastic. So that is my opinion on Bulgaria. And there's a reason why it's still high up in the betting odds. A lot of people connect with it. And I know what a lot of you are saying without even looking at the chat right now. You're like, it's boring. I'm falling asleep. It's an disqualifier. I'm like, look past your own personal bias for just a moment. There are songs that I don't care. Like, I find Norway to be a boring song, right? But I know it's going to fly through. I know it's going to go through. Come on. So, now I'm not saying that Bulgaria is going to win. That is pushing it. But this is not a prediction that I'm saying here. It is all about my personal taste. I need to drink something real quick. All right. So with that being said, now is the time to do some open Q&A. How does that sound? Any Eurovision related question is your time. Now, I ask as many as possible, but if you want answered, always super chats will be answered immediately. And it always supports the team. Do you think we heard the winner yet, or will Little Big be the one? Little Big is the band that is representing Russia. It's probably the most famous act in the running this year. I don't know. Little Big screams a potential jury hate song. I don't know if the Jews will like it, and we don't know what the song's going to sound like, but it's a potential. Now, as far as have we heard the winning song yet? We only have 5 songs to go, including Russia. Potentially. I mean, the odds are we have, but if you ask me who has the winning vibe, I don't know. I don't know who has the winning vibe. And that is the beauty about this year. We don't have a clear favorite. I think Lithuania and Iceland, as of right now, are the betting odds favorites, but not by much. They're both sitting like at 11%. It's not like a runaway thing we had last year with Duncan Lawrence and some of the other songs, or in previous years, right, with Cyprus and Iceland. This all can change during rehearsals, right? It's still early. But it is kind of fun not having a clear winner early on. So I don't know if you have heard it yet, potentially. But we have to wait and see. And that's why I love this year so far. Even though, not every song is for me, I love the unexpected outcome, potentially. Terry O'Neill, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did the EBU ever punish Iceland for last year's protest? And do you think an instrumental or predominantly instrumental song like Nocturne by Secret Garden will ever win the contest again? 2 questions. Okay, the first one is yes. They did punish Iceland. It was like nothing. Was it like what? They had to pay like 6,000 euros or something like that? It was not an impact. I mean, I'm sure that got reprimanded at the end. I didn't encourage any like, not punitive measures, but certainly any kind of like, they have to sit out in 20 this year or anything like that. That would have been much. But I feel as there should have been a little bit more of a punishment, regardless of how you may feel about the political situation, because I'm very supportive of a lot of things, right? That's not the point. But they did intentionally, deliberately break the rules. And that is the issue. They were often asked, you're not going to do anything. And they didn't do anything during the performance, but they still did it during the show. And it really pissed me off, regardless of the message. But yes, they were punished. Do you think an instrumental song can win? Yes. I do think Nocturne, a song like that, can still win when done right. There aren't many songs Nocturne style entering the contest. So when was the last time we had anything like that? Gosh, I can remember like Slovenia 2009 maybe. That didn't do too well. But other than that, we don't have music like that. But I think it can win. Yes, it's just not the kind of song that is going to Eurovision anymore these days. Do you like Switzerland's song? Vanya is asking. I do like it very much. I need to listen to it more because, unlike a lot of other people, I didn't have an immediate emotional connection with it. I insanely appreciate his vocals, the composition, and everything about it. For some reason, I didn't have a strong emotional reaction, and That is a very big thing for me when it comes to music. And it can be anything. Could be sadness, could be anger, could be enjoyment, could be desperation. I like, even if you don't understand the words, you pick up a vibe. And I just didn't get it as much there. So I have to listen to it again, but I think it's a fantastic written song. So I think Switzerland should be very proud of themselves. Are you excited for Vasil's songs? It will get released in like 45 minutes. Yes, I knew it was going to come out today, so I thought it would be out before, so I could talk about it now. So I will make sure that this live stream will shut down in time in a few minutes, so we can all do it, so I can do a reaction video. Because it's so difficult. It sucks when I am working and I cannot look at any Eurovision websites because I don't want to have any songs spoiled for me, because what I will not do is pretend a reaction video. Like I'm watching it before and then react to it. Yeah, so I got to stay away from it. I'm really excited. It's very interesting because in 2018 I was a huge fan of the North Macedonian song. It didn't qualify. Last year it was okay and it's the best result ever. So maybe this time around it's going to be an amazing song that's going to do amazing. That is what I want. So I say it all the time. I want an ex-Yugoslavian country to win the contest this year, because I've never been to that area and I want to visit Croatia. I want to visit Serbia and I want to visit... I can do that all in one trip. And people are like, well, you can always travel to Europe off Eurovision season. I'm like, no, I don't have that much time. I take a lot of time off just for this. I can't just travel like 3 times a year to Europe. It's a little crazy. So that's why I use Eurovision to make it happen. Most Americans never leave this country. And I go like at least once, sometimes twice a year. But once I also have to visit my family, so I cannot just travel across the continent. So yeah. Keep in mind, when you ask questions, at ESC United. Who is going to Rotterdam from your team? Plus, I think they changed the rule about having certain percent of the song being with vocals, so fully instrumental won't be allowed anymore. Gil, I mean, let's answer the second part first. You always had to have vocals, because initially Secret Garden's Nocturne was completely instrumental, and they said then, no, you need to have voices. So they added a little bit at the beginning and the very little at the end just to make it work. So I'm pretty sure the rules still apply the same way. So as long as there are some vocals in there, it works. But if you have 2 minutes just of instrumental, I think that would be fine. I haven't heard anything of the opposite. And I forgot the first part of the question. Who's going to Rotterdam? Well, we have 4 confirmed people so far. So it's going to be a smaller team this year, but we're still working on a few extra people, see if it can happen. Right now, it's obviously going to be me, Sean. We're going to have Roy. You probably know him by now. And then we're going to have Melanie join us. She's our Instagram person. She was part of the team, the expert panel last year. So the 4 of us will then be trying to get more people in, but those people have been confirmed so far. Do you think San Marino can qualify with Obsessed or Freaky? Thalborg, I have to admit, I have not listened to them yet. Not because I didn't want to, it was just too crazy with the sound. I had to record videos and do all that stuff, and then I do have a real life too. I didn't get to listen to them. I'm going to do that today. I will let you know. So I cannot answer the question right now. ESCNL thinks, what do you think about the Dutch song? Could it be a surprise? ESCNL, I did a video about that. A reaction video, so make sure to check that out. I like the song very much. I said the Netherlands should be very proud of it, and regardless of the outcome. Netherlands is doing what a lot of host countries are doing. They're sending something very risky. This could potentially be a flop, because it is a very difficult song to get into. You need to be in the moment, and if he can bring it live though and get that emotion, that can go actually out pretty well. So right now I like the song. It's a very good song, and it's daring, and it's just something so different from what we've had at Eurovision. So I applaud it. Yes. What is your favorite song from the Nordics this year? Leah is saying. Oh, well, let me think. The Nordics are Finland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Iceland. If I had to pick an absolute favorite between those 5, I would probably go with Denmark. Closely followed by Sweden, I think. Yeah. That would be my answer. You're welcome. Do you think the EBU would postpone the show instead of doing an empty arena show? The DMGP kind of made the idea of an empty arena look bad and quite wrong. Um, I don't know if they will not postpone Eurovision. I don't think that's going to happen. As far as the arena is concerned, I would be surprised if they would do that. I could see it happening during all the rehearsals that they're not going to have anyone in there, but during the live show, um, it could be they would have to really use cool effects to make it work. Um, it would be weird. I've been thinking about that and how that would really play out. Like even like for us in the press, are we gonna get our own separate desks somewhere? We're all split out. You cannot just cancel the entire thing. So could it be a come at your own risk kind of thing? I don't know. We have to wait. We still have a little bit time left here and see how this whole coronavirus thing evolves. But I'm sure it's not going to get better at this point. It's not going to get worse. But yeah, it is weird. It's a unique challenge that we never had to deal with before. So I wish I would have a better answer. But what I feel as is I don't think they're going to postpone it. It's logistically not possible. You cannot just postpone it. These acts, the delegations, the press, the volunteers, they all put time aside. So it would be, the arena is booked. You would have to skip it completely. You're not going to skip a year of Eurovision. I don't see that happening. Can Ireland qualify? Adam is saying. Yes, I think it can qualify. Now, I like it better than most people, I think, because I'm crazy about Ireland this year. But just looking at it objectively, I do think it has its place, and I do think that this could squeeze in. I'm not thinking it's going to be top 5 in the semis, but it could be between like 8th and 12th place. That'll be my feel. My first initial reaction could all change with the thing that's called rehearsals, right? Next question. Do you think a Nordic country could win? Yes, I think so. Iceland is currently tied for first place in the betting odds. Sweden is always a contender. Norway is very popular. Those 3 songs all have a shot, I think. As much as I love Denmark, I think it's going to win. But yeah, my answer is yes. Jenny E is saying Eurovision 1977 was postponed for 5 weeks due to strike, but that was 1977. That was over 40 years ago. Nobody here was alive, or most people of us weren't alive. The contest is nothing like it was back then. Nothing. The size of the contest is just not the same. So it would be. No, it wasn't like a way 40 plus countries take part, all these volunteers and all these delegates. It was a very different environment. So you cannot really compare that. Anthony Johnson saying, gotta love Eurovision fans. If their song doesn't win, it's a conspiracy. Remind me of the election here in the US. Well, I think the election here has a slightly different situation going on. But I hear what you're saying when it comes to like when your favorite doesn't win, it's a conspiracy. I don't think that Finland or Portugal results are conspiracy. In my view, they just, in my view, made the wrong choice. But I don't think there was some kind of conspiracy, like people in the background were like, no, it wasn't like that. So I get it. People get very passionate about it, especially immediately after the results, right? I feel as Twitter needs to shut down for 24 hours after every national final so people can calm down, take a chill pill, and just, relax. And then the world looks better after a good night of sleep. So that's what it is. When will you do your predictions? Predictions, I don't do predictions until like the day before the shows, actually, because I always want to see the jury show first. Just to make so our team always makes a prediction that night usually. As far as before, predicting, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do a I don't. How often can I say I? I don't think that I'm really in a place where I feel comfortable making predictions until closer to the date. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's do a couple more questions, and then we're going to call it a night. You had some really good questions today, by the way, so I really appreciate it. Keep scrolling at ESC United if you want to ask questions. Are you on the Daddy hype? What's Daddy? Oh, Daddy, Iceland. Sorry, I'm like, Daddy? What Daddy? I say back. No, hype. I wouldn't call it a hype. I enjoy it actually. Like I watch it, I'm like, oh my god, this is awfully enjoyable. And the song is so odd and unusual. So I did actually really enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. Now, am I hyping it? No. Is it going to be my top 10? Probably not. But am I hating it? No. I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. Will you be the who will be the last place in the grand final and who will win the televoting from Scotland? Oh, there's so many. We don't even know all of the songs. We don't know who's going to qualify. I don't think that I can only speak to the direct qualifiers, the Big Five and the host country. I don't see Germany going last. I don't think the UK coming last. I don't think Spain will come last, and Italy certainly will come last. The only ones I could see is France and potentially the Netherlands. Not because I want them to, because the Netherlands could flop. It could be completely go past people. It's not very European. It's a very, I say moody songs, like you have to be in the mood and you have to perform it right. If the performance is and people don't connect with it, it could flop. It could go really well as well. This is the big wild card for me. France has potential to be last. But I don't know. Could be a semifinalist this time around. And I don't know who's going to go through. Hi, Matt. Linnea is saying, do you like Spain's entry this year? It's one of my favorite songs. I did a reaction video. I really like it, actually. Now, is it my favorite? I wouldn't go far saying that because it is a little repetitive, right? He repeats the same lines over and over again. But I feel as it's one of the better mid-tempo songs. So yeah, I do like it. So that was my point. Next question. Zurich 2021, Adrian is saying. It's a little bit early. I cannot say that I'm getting winning vibes from Switzerland just yet. But that could all change life, right? It could completely be a Bulgaria beautiful mess kind of situation. So who knows? Absolutely. Not that beautiful mess won, but you get my point. Okay. MK is asking, what is your favorite so far? I don't have a favorite because I haven't done a ranking yet. Let me go for some of the songs that I really, really like. And keep in mind, here's going to be a disclaimer. For the last couple of years, my taste was in line with the majority and the eventual outcome, which is unheard of. I hardly ever agree with the actual results, right? Or the fan favorites. It's really, really weird that it happened for 2 years in a row. Sure enough, 2020 shapes up to be the opposite. I like a lot of songs that are not as popular with the masses. So let's see here. I love Ireland. Not that many people are crazy about it. Who else I love? I love Croatia. And it's like in almost every single rating in the bottom 5. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's so pretty. I love Croatia. I love Israel. That's kind of popular, right? I love Israel. I have a soft spot for Estonia. I already said that. There's so many. I love Bulgaria. I love Denmark. I love Italy. I love Italy. So those are some of my favorites. And the others, I just quickly glanced over the list here. So those are some of the ones that really stand out to me. Also, I get a question I was like, are there any songs that you actually appreciate that are highly unpopular? Obviously, Croatia comes to mind. Not very popular at all with the fans. And I just love it. I just can't get enough of it. And I will say a song that I think could pull not my number one, My Lucky Day. Moldova. Is Moldova again this year with Prison? It is such a hot mess, that song. Why do I awfully, strangely gravitate towards it? Maybe it is the mess. The live performance was a mess. Her smiling was so unneeded. But I kind of want to listen to it. Does that make any sense? So with the great staging, maybe. I cannot hate that song. So anyway, this is a quick answer. Next questions here. I'm going through them as fast as I can. Do you like Slovenia's entry? Yes, I do like it. It's also underrated. However, I will say there's going to be a revamp, I think, because it needs it. Because the verses are way too long and it loses me. It's one of the prettiest beginning of the song, right? The way it starts. The chorus is amazing, so beautiful. But those verses are too goddamn long. Fix that. And make the song fuller. And feel like maybe with another beautiful instrumental bridge or something like that. Not much time left, so hopefully they figure it out. But that's what it is. That's my opinion. Next question. If Norway will come last, what's your reaction? It's not. So I don't even think why we entertain that thought. But my jaw would drop. It's not going to come last. This is going to just own the jury vote. Are you kidding me? Even if it for some reason pulls a Never Give Up on You UK kind of song with the televoters, the juries will prevent a disaster. So I'm not worried about that. So, no worry. And Lalgard is saying Moldova is done again by Kirkorov. I don't know why. Maybe there's something about Kirkorov's music that I gravitate towards. And it's kind of trashy music at times, right? I totally get it. But I never get to hear that kind of music. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the way I grew up. My family probably listened to that kind of music a lot. So maybe that's why. I don't know. I can't help it. I cannot lie. What song do you think will win this year? Asta's asking. Your guess is as good as mine. Lithuania and Iceland are the betting odds favorites, so that is my bet right now. But don't quote me on that. I think we have to wait for the last final five. Maybe Malta or Russia is going to throw something at us, and we're like, what? Who knows? But right now, I think this one is going to be, assuming it's going to stay this way with the songs, the most unpredictable year in many years. And that makes it so much fun. Right? Who's going to win? Who's going to come last? I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you think we will see Greece and their entry fly on stage? No, I don't think. I think they tried to flying before in Eurovision, and it's just a health hazard that they will not allow that. There's certain things that they will not allow, like, doing a song. They can maybe do fly during like the opening act and stuff like that, but during a live, it's too much time to set this up. Maybe they have the tools this time around, but I doubt it. Having just like 10 seconds or so like to get on stage and set it up, it's unlikely. But maybe they come up with another cool effect that could stand on like a pedestal that is all black, and it almost looks like she is flying, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? We'll see. FYI, Estonia is also done by Kirkorov. Adrian, yeah, that's probably why I like it. Dang it! I'm too predictable. I like to have some unpredictability in me, but I guess not really. All right, guys, I got to move on. I'm going to have one more questions. There are a lot of songs this year that our juries would love. Which one is the most appealing to you? Out of the jury ones? I don't know. I mean, we never know which one could be a jury favorite. Sweden could be a favorite. I think Sweden could be something I could support that the juries will support as well. Other than that, pressure. Poland. I like Poland. That could be a one. Yep, that's my answer. Anyway, so forgive me. This live stream's been going on for over 90 minutes now, so I gotta move on. I thank you for listening. This was a hell lot of fun, and reminder, in a few minutes, about 30 minutes, the song from North Macedonia will drop. Make sure to check that out. I will have my reaction video up later tonight, even later than now. So sometime after that. So thank you for watching, and now that the Super Saturday, the national final season is over, we can do more relaxed, just talky live streams. I will definitely be back now on Saturdays, now that I don't have to worry about national finals. Doing more live streams, and maybe we'll do some more in between as well. So we'll see. Again, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you all soon. Have a good day. Bye.